should do as well as what we shouldn't be doing. Hey, you shouldn't be poking me. Our lesson today comes from the book of Proverbs, which is found in the Old Testament of the Bible. In the book of Proverbs, God provides us with wisdom of how to live a godly and righteous life. Wisdom? Beards equal wisdom. Beards don't equal wisdom. Wisdom comes from the fear of the Lord. That's the beginning of wisdom. And wisdom comes from the Word of God. So in the book of Proverbs, God provides us with wisdom as to how we should live, as to what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And he specifically tells us 7 things that he hates. So get ready for our lesson, get set with your Bible, and here we go. Today's lesson will help us have a better relationship with the Lord. You know what relationships are. You have relationships with your mom, brother, sister, friend. And in order to have a good relationship, we have to know what someone likes and what they don't like. So what about God? Do you know what God likes? Do you know what he doesn't like? Think about it for a minute. You probably know that God likes it when you're good, when you're honest, when you do the right thing. But do you know what God doesn't like? We know that God hates sin, all sin. But in today's lesson, we'll learn about 7 things that God especially hates, 7 things he absolutely detests. Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 through 18, it says this. There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a man who stirs up dissension among brothers. So we just read in the book of Proverbs about 7 things that God absolutely hates. Number 1 is haughty eyes.
I won all these trophies because I'm the best at bowling. And I have the best sneakers.
Well, being haughty or having haughty eyes means you're prideful or arrogant, and you take credit for yourself for things you've accomplished or for things that you have, instead of giving the credit to God. Having haughty eyes also means that you look down on others, that you think you're so good and they're not.
I could do these Sunday school lessons better than you. I can do everything better than you.
God doesn't want us to have this prideful, haughty attitude. Pride is one of the sins that God really hates most. It's number 1 on his list. Pride is often at the root of many other sins. When we act like we're better than someone else, God doesn't like that. God doesn't want us to think that way. Remember, anything that you have is because God has given it to you. And anything that you're able to do is because God has given you the ability to do so. So he's the one to receive all the credit and all the glory. So don't be prideful, be humble. Remember, being humble is giving the glory and credit to God and not taking the glory or credit for yourself. Number 2 is lying tongue. No, I did not take your $10. You kidding me? I would never do that. Well, I got the latest iPhone. No, you can't see it. It's charging right now. You should see what I did on the weekend. I had a Zoom call with Natalie Grant and Chris Tomlin, the 2 famous Christian singers, and they both sang me their latest song. Yes, they did. Don't you believe me? I also got to feed the animals at the Bronx Zoo. I'm not even lying. People lie for many different reasons, but lying is never acceptable. Whether a lie is a little lie or a big lie, all lies are detestable to God. And Satan, our enemy, is known as the father of lies. So we never want to lie and align ourselves with him. We want to please God and do what he tells us to do. God wants us to tell the truth and to be honest all the time in all situations. The third thing that God hates is hands that shed innocent blood. In other words, murder. That Christopher, I'm so mad at him. He ate all my cake. I just can't stand when people eat all my cake. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get rid of you. Sorry about that. The Lord hates murder. And I know we just did a funny skit, but it's not really funny. The Lord hates murder, whether it's of an adult, a child, or an unborn baby. God wants us to respect life and to treat people the way he would treat people. We need to be very careful that when we get angry, we go to God with our anger so that we don't sin. In Psalms 4:4, God says, "Be angry and do not sin." God recognizes that we get angry sometimes, but he doesn't want us to sin. He doesn't want us to hurt anybody when we're angry. Instead, he wants us to go to him with our anger and let him help us. The fourth thing that God hates is a heart that devises wicked schemes. You, come here. Come here. You know that girl Sue that we really can't stand? Let's go and throw rocks at her house tonight. And then we could take the air out of her mama's tires. Yeah, I really can't stand that girl. God hates a heart that plans to do evil. Sometimes Satan, our enemy, throws thoughts, evil thoughts into our mind, but we don't have to act on them. You shouldn't listen to the enemy. We have the armor of God, and specifically the helmet of salvation is over our mind. So when we have Jesus, he protects our mind from those ungodly thoughts. We need to fill our mind with the Word of God and with right thoughts. If you choose to think on things that are wrong and evil, that is sin. Whatever you continue to think on, that will get into your heart, and eventually that will come out in your actions. Instead, we need to focus our minds on what we've learned in our previous lesson. We need to focus our minds on what is right, what is true, what is noble, what is pure. The fifth thing that God hates is feet that are quick to rush into evil. God hates a heart that thinks up evil and then carries it out. Remember Judas in the Bible, who betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. When that thought first came into his mind, he could have cast it out. He could have refused to think on it and act on it. He could have filled his mind with God's word instead, but he didn't, and he chose to act on that evil thought. Our mind often thinks about what we want to do instead of what we ought to do. But we need to refuse those thoughts. We need to cast them down and instead replace those ungodly, wrong thoughts with right thoughts and with the Word of God. Number 6 is a false witness who pours out lies. Now, wait a minute. Didn't we already talk about lying? Didn't we already say that God hates lying? Wasn't that number 2? Well, there's a little bit of a difference here. In number 2, God hates a lying tongue. And that is saying that we are lying to someone. When I'm speaking to you and I'm lying to you. But in number 6, that says God hates a false witness who pours out lies, we're telling a lie about someone. If I say that guy over there did something that he really didn't do, I'm telling a lie about him. Either way, whether we're lying to someone or whether we're lying about someone, God hates lying. God wants us to tell the truth all the time in all situations. The seventh thing that God hates is a man who stirs up dissension among brothers.
Dissension? What's that?
Well, dissension is like disagreement between people. You see, here God is telling us that he hates someone who stirs up trouble among people. It could be trouble in your church family, in your family at home, your soccer team family, or any group of people.
Here, that Krista and Dan were sending texts. They were sending heart emojis back and forth to each other in science class.
God doesn't want us to gossip or to get into anybody's business. And he doesn't want us to say anything negative. He wants us to say only what is encouraging and what would build up someone. So if you're tempted to say something you shouldn't, remember, zip it. All 7 of the actions we talked about today are in opposition to God. He hates these 7 things. We need to examine ourselves to make sure we're not doing any of these things. If we are, we need to stop and do the right action instead.
Dear Lord, I want to pray that everyone who has seen this video will avoid the things that you hate and do the things that you love.
Remember, the Bible is God's instruction book for life. We need to follow God's word. So get ready, get set with your Bible. Let's go.